Hey, I'm out on Wednesday, the 22nd, and this is what you're going to be doing. So it says, please complete your space self-reflection. The space self-reflection is located right here. I made a copy for everybody. What you're going to do is you're going to answer all these questions in order. The first one, what are 5 specific facts that you learned about in the entire space unit? Please write out, like you can do it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can just list the facts right there. It doesn't have to be a paragraph. So, specific facts. Please don't say things like, I learned about neap tides. I learned about spring tides. I learned that neap and spring tides are different. No. Instead, you would say something like, a neap tide is created when, and then you explain in detail how it would happen. A spring tide is different than a neap tide because when a spring tide occurs, and then you explain how it's different. So you have to actually prove it. Don't say, I learned about something. Tell me specifically what you learned. And please don't feel like it only has to be about spring tides or neap tides. It could be about eclipses. It could be about moon phases. It could be about the planets that we learned about in our projects. It could be about the moon. Anything that you learned about in class is fair game. If you can't think of things that you learned about specifically that you could write about, use your notes, use your study guide. All those things are fair game to use. So please make sure you're going to lose points if you say generic statements that don't explain. Give very detailed descriptions, and it's only 5 of them that you need to do. All right, so that's the first one. Next, what are tree-specific lessons or activities that we did to help you learn during this unit? Please don't say things like, I learned this from the notes. I learned this from the Kahoot. No. Talk about something specific that you learned. And then in what specific lesson did you learn it? If you want to talk about how you understood gravity at a better level because Mr. Johnson made a giant model of gravity with the spandex and the marbles, that's something you could talk about. If you want to talk about how we went outside and we measured the distance between the planets, and that helped you understand about how the planets are very far apart from each other in terms of scale, that's another great thing you could talk about. So you need to talk about very specifically the types of lessons that we did and what you learned from them. If you don't know, look through your binder, look through Google Classroom to look at the different lessons that we did, and that can give you some ideas. Lastly, what questions do you still have about this current unit of space? Don't talk about other units. This unit of space. There's probably something you're still confused about. If not, too bad. You have to come up with something. Do not say you have no questions. Don't say things like, I have no questions. Mr. J did a really good job, and I love this class. Although it's great to hear, doesn't answer my question. So a type of question might be like, okay, well, we talked about black holes, but I'm very curious, how exactly does a black hole warp space-time? That would be a good question to do. So now that you have this done, what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste this into slide 8 on your digital portfolio. Slide 8 and 9 are brand new ones. You already did slide 7. If you didn't, make sure you go back, replace these images with your image, and replace the link over here with the link to your project. On slide 8, you're going to copy and paste everything. Please don't do this. Please don't do Control A, copy, and then V. Look at this mess over there. No good. Don't also do screenshots of it. Instead, you're going to go to each thing that you wrote and like copy and paste it. So you have to actually like go like this. Copy, paste, like that. That's how you're going to make sure it all gets on there. Make sure you add a picture to the slide when you're done. After you're done with that, you can actually go back to slide 4 because you asked tree questions in the beginning of the unit. You're not going to answer all those questions. So make sure that you do answer them. And if you don't like your questions anymore, you can replace the questions with something different. If you don't know the answer, you can always look for it on Google. And lastly, you're going to go to slide 9 because now we're going to start our new unit of plate tectonics over here. You're going to come up with your own sample questions over here. You are not allowed to use my questions. You will not gain any points from this if you do. These are my questions. How many layers of the Earth are there? And what would the world look like without any plate tectonics? If you're sitting there and you're saying, Mr. J, I don't even know what plate tectonics are. How can I ask questions about it? You are certainly allowed to just Google plate tectonics. Some words will come up. And now all of a sudden you might be like, what is the outer shell? What is the lithosphere? How did it get divided into large plates? That's a type of thing you can write down. So once you do that, anything that gets confusing when you look at it online, you could ask questions about that. And that can go into here. If you've done with all of these 9 slides, please do not turn in your portfolio. That will be done at a later date. You will turn in this assignment, though. So once you're done with this entire thing, it is due before midnight tonight. So just go and actually turn in this assignment. If you're done with all of this stuff, feel free to do the what do I do when I'm done document. And that, my friends, is what you're going to be spending this period doing. Good luck to you all.